Can you believe it? We are just 3 months away from 2025. Crazy, right? It feels like time is flying by. And yet, how many of us are still stuck in the same place with our goals, spinning our wheels? But what if I told you that there's a way to achieve an entire year's worth of progress in just the next 12 weeks? Sounds impossible, doesn't it? Well, today we are diving into this strategy from the book 12-Week Year by Brian P. Moran in my monthly book review series. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 12-week year challenges the traditional way we think about goal setting. You know how most of us set yearly goals and resolutions, right? Well, according to Brian Moran, the 12-month plan is actually setting us up for failure. You ask why? Because we give ourselves a whole year to accomplish something, but we end up procrastinating. There's no sense of urgency in the early months, and before we even know it, the year's nearly over and we're scrambling to get things done. So the author flips this idea on its head by proposing that we break the year into 12-week chunks, treating each of these periods as its own year. Think about it. 12 weeks is long enough to make meaningful progress, but short enough that you can't afford to slack off. And this approach is a total game changer. It's an intense but highly effective mindset shift. You're no longer thinking, oh, I'll start on that next month. You're thinking, I have only 12 weeks to make this happen. So the book is divided into 20 chapters, but I have broken them down into 6 main sections to make it easy for you to grasp the core concept. Trust me, by watching the full video, you'll be ready to rethink how you approach your own goals for good. Are you ready? Right, the problem with annual goals. Here's why this approach matters. Most people start the year full of excitement with big goals and lofty ambitions. But somewhere along the way, they lose steam. And it happens to almost everyone. In fact, a study from the University of Scranton found out that only 8% of people actually achieve their New Year's resolution. That's a teeny tiny number, right? The problem is, when you have the whole year to get something done, it's easy to procrastinate. You tell yourself, oh, I've got plenty of time, so you don't really feel that immediate pressure to act. Then before you know it, it's October and you're in a mad rush to make any real progress. I'll give you a personal example. In 2022, I set this huge goal to learn how to play drums by the end of the year. I started strong in January, super motivated, practicing regularly. But by March, I started easing up. I kept thinking, oh, I've got the rest of the year, I'll do it later. Weeks turned into months, and by the time I got to September, I was nowhere near my goal. Suddenly I was scrambling, trying to cram in everything I hadn't done all year. And guess what? I didn't reach my goal. That's exactly the trap Brian Moran is talking about. When you give yourself 12 months, you unconsciously delay taking consistent actions because the deadline feels far, far, far away. This approach is powerful because it taps into how we naturally work under deadlines. Just think about how productive you get when a deadline is looming. And this concept isn't just a game changer for corporate settings or individuals, but it's actually a fundamental approach used by elite athletes to maximize their performance. Take Michael Phelps as a prime example. During his Olympic years, Phelps didn't train with a vague year-long plan. Instead, he used a strategy for short, hyper-focused training blocks, from speed and strength to technique and endurance. By concentrating on these smaller, high-intensity periods, Phelps could push himself to the limit without losing motivation. This method not only kept him at the top of his game, but also allowed him to recover and refocus between cycles. So how to do that? Let's go through step-by-step process. Step 1. The vision. The power of clarity. First step in the book is crafting a powerful vision. And this isn't just about setting goals. It's about understanding your deeper motivation. So the author talks about this vision in 2 parts, long-term and short-term. Let's start with your long-term vision. This is the big picture, the ultimate goal you're striving for. Think about what you want your life to look like in 5 or 10 years, in personal and professional setting. I know thinking that far could be daunting, but having a rough idea always helps. Research from Harvard Business School supports the idea that having a clear and compelling long-term vision significantly enhances motivation and perseverance. A study by Dr. Teresa and Stephen Kramer found that having a clear sense of purpose and long-term vision helps individuals maintain motivation even in the face of setbacks. And this is where the 12-week year system comes into play. Ask yourself, what can I accomplish in the next 12 weeks that will bring me closer to my long-term vision? It's about creating a bridge between your dreams and daily actions. By setting 12 weeks goals that align with the long-term vision, you ensure that every short-term effort is a step towards achieving something bigger, making it easier to stay motivated and see tangible progress. For example, envisioning myself as a successful content creator 5 years from now, I need to break down that vision into actionable steps, starting by focusing on what I need to achieve over the next 3 years. From there, narrow it down to what can I accomplish in the coming year. Then zoom in further. What can I achieve in the next month, week, and even today? By setting specific short-term goals that align with my long-term vision, I can create a clear roadmap that brings me closer to that 5-year plan of mine. Each step, whether it's improving my skills, creating more content, or growing my audience, becomes a building block towards reaching my ultimate goal. Like a step 2 in achieving more in the next 12 weeks is about planning. Less is more. One of the biggest takeaways from the book is the power of focusing on just a few key objectives. Instead of spreading yourself too thin with 10 or 20 goals, which can lead to diluted effort, author advises honing into 3 or 4 major goals for each 12-week period. This approach aligns with the Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule, which asserts that 80% of your results comes from just 20% of your efforts. So think about it. If you look at your phone, 20% of those apps probably accounts 80% of your phone usage. Similarly, 20% of the foods you eat contribute to 80% of the weight you gain. And if you look at the TV, 20% of the channels are likely where you spend 80% of your viewing time. This principle highlights the importance of concentrating on the critical few actions that will yield the greatest results. Right. After planning comes the execution, and that is step 3. Execution is absolutely crucial, and the author introduced a very powerful concept, which is about keeping score by tracking your progress every week. It might sound simple, but monitoring your daily actions can truly be a game changer. Let me share an example. I had a friend who was determined to improve her fitness. She set a clear goal to lose weight, but she didn't stop there. Instead of just saying, "I want to lose weight," she broke her goal down into daily actionable steps. 30 minutes of exercise every single day, no sugar, and drinking 8 glasses of water each and every single day. Not only that, every week she evaluated herself based on these actions. The results were impressive. By the end of her first 12 weeks, she had lost 15 pounds simply because she tracked her progress and adjusted her actions as needed. This approach is supported by research as well. A study conducted by Harvard Business School found that individuals who write down and regularly measure their progress are 42% more likely to achieve their goals compared to those who don't. And this is because tracking your actions keeps you accountable and allows you to make necessary adjustments along the way. Now, applying this to my own goal of becoming a successful content creator in the next 5 years, here's how I would use this approach. I'd break down my long-term vision into a series of 12-week goals. For example, I might set specific objectives for each 12-week period, such as increasing my content output, engaging more with my audiences, or improving my video production skills. Each week, I track my progress by measuring key matrices, such as the number of videos produced, audience growth, or even engagement rates. I score myself on these matrices and review my performance every week. This way, I stay focused and make real-time adjustments to my strategy. And if I find that certain types of content are performing better or that I'm falling behind on my output, I can pivot quickly and keep my goals on track. Another crucial element of the 12-week year is accountability. You simply can't achieve significant goals alone. Having someone to hold you accountable can make all the difference. Whether it's a mentor, a coach, or even a friend who checks in with you regularly. Research shows that having an accountability system in place can dramatically increase your chances of success. According to a study published in the American Society of Training and Development, people are 65% more likely to achieve their goals if they have a specific accountability appointment with another person. And that success rate jumps to 95% if they have ongoing meetings to track their progress. Similarly, in my own journey as well, I found that having a partner or a small group to share my goals with become extremely effective for me. And actually, I regularly share my progress online on social media platforms. By posting updates about my content creation goals and achievements, I not only keep myself accountable, but I also invite my network to support and encourage me. On that, last year I set a goal to publish a certain number of videos every month. To stay on track, I decided to document my progress on Instagram. Every week I posted updates about what I had accomplished, including sneak peeks of my upcoming content, behind the scenes shots, and reflections on my challenges and success. This not only kept me motivated but also created a sense of commitment to my followers. Knowing that my audience was watching and rooting for me made me more determined to follow through on my goals. So whether you're aiming to achieve personal goals or professional milestones, finding an accountability partner or system is key. Share your goals with someone who would hold you accountable and make sure you have regular check-ins to review your progress. This practice not only helps you stay focused but also provides support and encouragement, making the journey toward your goals much more manageable and rewarding. So don't forget to tell me in the comment section, what goals are you tackling in the next 12 weeks? And I would be sharing my daily updates on my Instagram, so do follow to witness my journey. With that, take really good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!